congratulations on this. And finally, we get another feature-length Wallace and Gromit movie. What made you wait so long before giving us this?
Well, I mean, we've always got Wallace and Gromit things going on, haven't we? I mean, Merlin's always busy on all sorts of things for TV and commercials and stuff. Yeah. And but this, it's the first kind of film outing as such for a long time. We always like waiting for that real idea, that really grabs you and kind of demands to be made. Something that's got, especially a long format thing like this, it's got to have real legs and be able to be compelling for that whole. It's got to be an idea that has such potential as a story idea, and then there's a practical side of it as well. Once you've got a good idea, we have to sort of jostle for a place in the studio to have time that's good to make such a big project like this. So sort of making sure all these different things have to align perfectly.
Nick, you've been quoted in the past as saying that you prefer to work on sort of shorter movies really than the long ones. Have you changed your mind since?
Well, not really. I mean, it did start off as a half-hour for TV idea, and it was back then. It was about Wallace creating an automatic gnome. An auto gnome or a smart gnome, something that would help Gromit in the garden with garden chores, and it was a great fun idea. But working with Mark Burton, the writer, and Merlin, it just seemed that there wasn't enough teeth, to the idea for a longer thing, and it needed some kind of sinister element and even a darker. A villain but with a motivation. That was all important, and that's when it suddenly expanded,
didn't it? At that point,
and became more exciting for that as well, much more compelling.
It was too big an idea really to be any shorter, so it kind of needed to be, and that's the best way for it to be.
We see the return of the ultimate villain in the whole of the Wallace and Gromit universe. I don't know if I can give it away, but I think the secret is out, and that Feathers McCraw is back. Was that the element that you needed to include in this to make it into a sort of a bigger idea?
Yes, it was. I mean, and many people have asked over the years, will Feathers ever come back? But there's never been the right kind of context or reason for it. But this seemed like the perfect reason, and the thing that really helped. So it wasn't because of that because fans kept asking, but it just really solved a big story issue for us and made the whole thing suddenly got it on another level. Whenever we pitched it, it was a lot more exciting.
I know there's an inspired bit of casting in Norbert the robot with the Reece Shearsmith. What was it like? Was it like did you think of him straight away when looking who to cast in that voice role?
It was, I mean, we did try a few, like always in the development of a character, you try different voice artists, but Reece had an underlying quirk. And his understanding of the darker side of comedy really helped us. Really. And he's been amazing getting finding Norbot, really. And he's been a huge part of that process.
People have suggested there's a slight bit of League of Gentlemen coming through in places. But he's been brilliant.
It's really amazing, yeah.
And we wanted it to be not what you'd typically expect from a garden gnome. Not too twee or cute.
A little bit gruff.
A bit gruff and a bit quite northern. What is a northern gnome like? Who's made by Wallace? Yeah. What would that sound like?
Did I spot a bit of a sort of commentary against AI or the automation of everything in society nowadays? Are you like me? Do you get annoyed when you go to the supermarket, instead of having a person serving you, you've got this machine that never really works? Was that one of the things that influenced you in thinking about this story?
I think it very much has been. I know Mark Burton, the screenwriter, very much was inspired by all that.
Yeah,
you can't help but want to comment on all that.
Thematically, it is a thread through the film of one's relationship with technology. isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
and this is in the film. It's very much Wallace's technology,
Yeah.
but
Yes, it's a fun way of dealing with the issue that affects everyone now, doesn't it? And for good or bad, we don't really take a stance in terms of judge or condemning because there's
tech.
No, and a lot of it was a good excuse to have Wallace saying "AI lad."
Can you talk me through any other new characters that you've introduced in this one?
So yeah, new characters. We've got PC Mukherjee, our new young policewoman, and she came from the story. She works with now Chief Inspector Mackintosh.
Yes, and it's brilliant to have Peter Kay back again.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
And
she's been great.
Lauren Patel,
yeah,
voicing PC Mukherjee.
It's been great.
Just brilliant young voice talent, and between them, our two police characters. And Mac is new as well, even though he was in Were-Rabbit. He was
got a bigger role.
In Were-Rabbit, he was just a secondary character, really, and he's very much been promoted, literally and and within the film as well. And they're a great comedy duo.
Yes.
You know.
It's kind of years later, and he's kind of near retirement.
Yeah.
So she's got. Apart from Gromit, she's got one of the biggest story arcs in the film.
Yeah, and she's a great little dynamo and sort of tornado of chaos in Mac's world. So it's very nice.
I want to go back to the sort of technicality of things. I know that the factory that you used in the past for Lewis Newplast, which had the claymation stuff, that closed down. There was much made out of the fact that you might not be able to finish the movie, because can you just reassure people that that is not the only way of getting?
Yeah, there is now somebody else in a secret location making exactly the same kind of plasticine or clay that we've always used.
Yeah, don't worry, everything's fine.
It's all in hand.
But
can you just remind us when this is out and when to expect it, and when can people watch it?
Well, it's very much going to be on the BBC this Christmas.
Yes, the home of Wallace and Gromit in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, Christmas, BBC One.
And am I right in thinking elsewhere in the world it's with Netflix? Is
Correct.
That right?
Netflix Rest of the World from the 3rd of January.
Yeah.
Brilliant, fantastic. Congratulations again. I'm so happy. I only got to watch about a tiny bit of it, but I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Big fan.
Thank you.
Great. Nice to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!